Hello and welcome to Stop. Let's Team Up. Hey, it's Ross again. I've got some free time. I'm having to sneak it in there and that. I work healthcare, COVID, busy, working a bunch of days, getting about one day off every 2 weeks. But I had a little time today, so I want to get back on track. And our next episode, the one we're going to be talking about today, is another first appearance. And it is the first appearance of the Doom Patrol in My Greatest Adventure, number 80, from June 1963. I have never read this. I'm kind of a periphery Doom Patrol fan. I'm a fan of some of the stuff in the 80s, in Teen Titans, one of the issues we've already covered. And, I jumped in and out of the different series. I've never read the Morrison. I want to read the Morrison because I think it's something I will enjoy tremendously. Some of the other takes on it hadn't worked. The Byrne one I was never very fond of, and I'm a big Byrne fan. But I did like the Cooperberg Larson stuff. I like Eric Larson. He's fun. He's 60s, 70s, early 80s superhero. It works for me. It touches a couple sweet spots. I've not read a lot of Savage Dragon. I read about the first 100 issues. I wish I had kept it going, but things got picked for pull and didn't because of money. And for some reason I lost that. Maybe one day I will do a big binge on that. That would be neat. And I knew the Joe Stanton one from Showcase when they brought him back in the 70s or 80s. And I love that stuff because I just love Joe Stanton's. Anything Joe Stanton did, especially early on in his career, was always a go-to, was a buy. And I like that when they brought Showcase back. And did it. Maybe one day we'll talk about Showcase 100. I think it's one of the greatest comics ever done. It's not a team book, but it's kind of like everybody who had appeared in the first 100 issues or blah, blah, blah shows up, and it's got a beautiful Joe Stanton cover. But we're talking about My Greatest Adventure 80, the first appearance of the Doom Patrol. Okay. It's written by Arnold Drake and Bob Haney. Drake was the creator, and Haney scripted this one, and pretty much Arnold writes the rest. And Bruno Premiani, and I'm pronouncing it wrong probably. I should have called my brother. He would have been able to pronounce it right. He's the king of all these artists. So it's the first appearance of the Doom Patrol. And I know some people out there are watching the Doom Patrol TV show. Me and my wife are watching it, and we love it. It's amazing to us. It is fun and weird and wacky and engaging. And they have created these incredible. Brendan Gleeson is Cliff. I don't think I can hear that heroic kind of macho 60s guy that's supposed to be kind of inside the Cliff inside the robot in the comics, because I love the Brendan Fraser interpretation. But it's Doom Patrol for the 2020s, using the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol as kind of the model and maybe some of the Gerald Way stuff, which I own and I haven't read yet. I mean, I literally read My Greatest Adventure twice today so I could do this little chat. And I'm a little excited because I was a little blown away. So we're going to get to that. The name of this story is The Doom Patrol. I'm using the DC database for all these little quick references, so I'm looking away. And the story is basically three strangers are called to a house by someone they don't know and said that they're different and odd, but they can do good. They can fight evil. And then one by one there's silhouettes, and out of the silhouette first comes Rita Farr, Elastic Girl, and we see her origin of she was making a movie. She was swimming. She has to avoid a live crocodile, but she gets caught in a current, goes over a waterfall, and crawls ashore where there's these gas coming out of the ground, and it gives her an uncontrollable ability to grow and shrink. And she quits movies because she can't control it. And then there's Negative Man, Larry Trainor, who's takes a flight way up into the atmosphere with not enough protection, and something happens and he crashes a month later, and he has a negative energy self that comes out for 60 seconds and can do amazing things, but only for 60 seconds. Any longer and he'll die. And Larry is wrapped in lead-coated bandage or anti-radiation bandages. And finally, Cliff Steele, who's a race driver who's crashed, and he remembers a very small surgeon operating on him, and he woke up in a robot body. And then you're revealed that the chief, he's telling them their origins. They realize that he's the one that did Cliff. He admits to Cliff that he's the one who's done the surgery and says they're here and they must fight a villain. Chief tells him of an alien spaceship with all this technology, and they must stop General Immortus, someone he has battled through the years. General Immortus is a general that's been been alive so long that no one knows how old he really is. And they're gonna go, and they land, and in typical Silver Age fashion, they each attempt one after another and they retrieve a weapon from inside the spaceship. And they are headed back, and they get into a battle with General Immortus while he tries to steal the weapon, and he is destroyed by it. Not forever, because he comes back about 6 more times. It is basically a beautiful Silver Age comic, and I will find some interior images and post them when this goes out. I've never read it, and I'd never read any of these, and I'm going to read more. They have that wonderful structure of a Silver Age DC teen book. It's 2 chapters, like in the Justice Leagues would have chapters. This one has 2 chapters. One's the origin, one's the adventure. There's a lot more text than you would see in a modern comic, and for good reason, because the dialogue and the scripting, even though it is a very 60s style, is very good. Arnold Drake is telling a good story. It's weird. I'm on the 9th episode, and I've covered 2 teams created by Arnold Drake and 2 teams created by Bruno Premiani, because he was one of the creators of the Teen Titans, or did the first several stories. So, but it's spot on. It's very unique. And I know why it was, of the fans who became writers and fans of the Silver Age, the people like Morrison and Moore and stuff like that, why it's a book they like and why it was something they remembered. And I know a couple people, the comic shop I go to, the owner, Pat, he's a big fan of them, and I think he's working on a run, or he has a pretty good run of all of it. I've never read this, and it's amazing. The colors are wonderful. I have it in the soft cover Silver Age Doom Patrol Volume 1, which is I like these books. I bought a few just because of books that I don't have in other trades. Like one more trade comes out for Legion, and I've got everything from the beginning through the Great Darkness saga in hardback, which is, for me as a collector, it's a nerdy thing to have it. But I just love the Legion. I'm having a lot of good Legion talk on Twitter, and you guys are amazing, all you Legion fans out there. I really appreciate it, because I am going to do, like on Wednesdays, I'm going to just kind of do a short 5 or 10 minute episode and cover the Legion comics one after another. And if you like it, I'll keep doing it. People listen, I'll keep doing it. And maybe every once in a while, maybe I'll switch to another team. Maybe I'll do the Doom Patrol sometime. Do a year of this volume just as a tease. A little something to sprinkle in between episodes. So after you hear this, let me know. I'm going to do it and put the first one out and see how you all react. But I want to talk Legion more, so I want to kind of stoke that. But the art is stunning. I mean, the art is stunning. I'm not that familiar with it. I mean, I know his Titan stuff. I had seen it. It has a very action newspaper feel and a very 50s, 60s sci-fi feel. I don't dig really the green and purple costumes, but I don't really dig the red and white ones, but I prefer the red and white ones. His Cliff, Robot Man, has, even though it's a robot face that can't emote, when he draws certain side 3/4 shots or half shots, Bruno captures an emotion, a sense of what is going on in his head. The action stuff is great. It's very much of its era. But I think overall, he drew a lot of other stuff, like Westerns, and he did several DC Westerns and stuff like that. I think I would love that stuff. I think that would be gorgeous, kind of like an Alex Raymond kind of way, that he's that kind of artist. He reminds me, he reminds me of somebody. I didn't know this. Bob Brown, who did Avengers and Daredevil, very much reminded me of Bob Brown. And Bob Brown, in this volume that I've got, the last 2 issues are drawn by him. And I really have always liked Bob Brown. I think he was for people of my age, he's not as well known, and I think he's a little underrated. Because it's glorious. This whole volume is gorgeous. But the art is just snap on. I love the concept of General Immortus. He is such a great villain. And when he would pop up in little cameos and stuff I read with Doom Patrol, it was always very kind of cool. And he is in one of the Cooperborg stories with Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man, which is another great one. And I love the way they did it in the TV show. It's a lot of fun. It's well worth a read. It's such a joy. And if you like Silver Age stuff, I get this volume. I mean, these issues are on the app too. Just give them a chance. I think if you like early Justice League and say you like Challengers of the Unknown from that era, that Silver Age era, this is I would assume you would have tried this and it would be right up your boat. I really think give it a chance. If you like the more avant-garde, the more early 2000s writers, Grant Morrison's a great writer, and I've heard nothing but good things about his, so I'm going to dive into that at some point soon, at least to get a taste of it. I love these characters. I'm looking forward to read a couple more issues because I knew who they were, and I have my version of them in my head, and then the TV version of Rita is stunning. Really, if you have HBO Max, give it a watch. It's really imaginative, witty television, and very strange and very funny. It's just a lot of fun. I'm going to stop gushing about it, but and wrap up here. But give this one a try. I mean, it's wonderful. I keep saying that, so I'm going to probably cut this part. So, folks, give this one a try. Really, it's a lot of fun. Read some more of it. Let me know what you think. I'll probably come back to Doom Patrol pretty soon after reading a few more. Maybe do finish the issues that are part of My Greatest Adventure. They don't do story arcs because it's Silver Age. You're getting a lot of pages. You're getting like 28 pages, and a lot of text, which is in a good way. There's a lot of dialogue and there's a lot of good writing. Arnold Drake writes a good comic book. It's enjoyable. So, folks, next coming up will be a Marvel team. Because I've done a couple DCs in a row, and I'm going to do that Legion bit. So what I think I'm going to do is I may do the Champions, because it was in my line of sight today, and it was a comic that I read as a kid, and I'd always wished it had been better because I thought it was a good idea. And then the West Coast Avengers happened, and Roy did it what I was thinking better. So, folks, I'll see you in a week. You be good. Be safe. You can find me on Twitter at AJSA4, the number 4E, for Stop Let's Team Up Twitter feed. It's a pretty good one. There are a lot of good guys that I'm following and following me, and I'm having some fun sharing stuff. You can also find me at my two other podcasts, if you're into Doctor Who, Gallifrey's Most Wanted at Gallifrey's MW Pod, or Runcible Report at Runcible Report. But until then, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and read some comics.